Welcome to this week's edition of World Crisis Radio. This is Webster Tarpley speaking from Washington, D.C. The past 7 days have been a new cataclysm, the beginning of a new severe downleg of the current world financial and economic depression. It is a world depression. It is a breakdown crisis of the entire existing system. It is not simply a collapse of prices, although it includes that repeatedly, but it is a breakdown crisis, a disintegration of the entire system, not the price on the market, but the existence of the market and the existence of the various property titles that are sold there. All of this is now in grave danger. Who, after the events of this week, could deny the reality of a world economic depression? How many countries have to go under before people open their eyes? And this simply means you cannot treat this as the Austrian school would like to, or the monetarists, or the supply-siders. It is not a business cycle event. It is a cataclysmic crisis of an entire civilization, the one based on deindustrialization, on derivatives, deregulation, and the dismantling of the New Deal state here in the United States. We've just had the worst week since the Lehman catastrophe of the middle of September 2008, which was joined, of course, by AIG, Merrill Lynch, and really every other bank in Wall Street. This had been prepared, of course, by the fall of Bear Stearns back in the period of March 2008. But let's also remember that at the beginning of that fateful year, 2008, in January, there was a big European stock market panic that was unleashed by problems with Société Générale. Société Générale, large French bank, also called SocGen. So we're back to this today. Let's look at the immediate news, just as of yesterday and this morning. The national state has shown some signs of defending itself from the predatory, speculative, neo-feudalist assault, the one that's led by the ratings agencies. We have the first modest steps to use the inherent power of the modern national state to protect the economy, to protect the people against the predatory activities of tiny minorities, of malefactors of great wealth, economic royalists, and finance oligarchs. The countries involved now, as of yesterday, are the following: France, Italy, Belgium, Spain have banned short sales. A modest step. This was even done by the United States for a period of several weeks in the midst of the Lehman Brothers, AIG, Merrill Lynch catastrophe. Now it's for a period of 2 weeks. First demand to raise is that this be made permanent, that short selling be outlawed. If you want to sell something, and here I have to take issue with CBS radio news and television news, CBS says that the ban on short selling means that you can't sell a stock when the price goes down. Baloney. You can sell the stock any time you want, but you can't sell it for future delivery. You have to sell it and deliver it now and take the current price in the market. And it also means that if you were just banning naked short sales, remember that a short sale can be a naked short. It can be a sale where you're selling a stock you don't own that you're going to get, but you don't own it. And that means that the pool of possible short sellers is infinite. As of last year, Germany had banned naked shorts on European government bonds. That means if you want to sell it for future delivery, you have got to own it. And this, of course, radically reduces the pool of possible speculators betting on a fall in the stock. These speculators a la baisse, the ones who think it's going to go down, the bear speculators. So now we've got France, Italy, Belgium, Spain joining Greece, because Greece last week also banned short sales in the stock market primarily. Germany has that ban still on naked shorts of Euroland government bonds. And we've got reports also that South Korea, the ROK, Republic of Korea, has also limited short selling, banned it perhaps at least temporarily. That is the first step towards doing something. And we can remember that last year in May, it was important that Germany took those steps, and that indeed did serve to significantly slow down the crash of last May. So this is already something, and you can see an undertone of discontent among the main speaking tubes of the speculators. Neil Cavuto on Fox Business Network, as of yesterday, he hadn't gotten a line yet. He didn't know what to say. But of course, the Anglo-Americans are against this because it violates the free market in which predators are free to flay the people alive. Sorry, that's where liberty turns into license, where liberty turns into the trampling on other people's rights. The next step for the Europeans: ban credit default swaps. Ban credit default swaps. Not some of them, but all of them. Not temporarily, but permanently. If you're under attack by credit default swaps, take the obvious road, the path of least resistance. Ban them. We've now got, as of this morning, huge turbulence in the European credit default swap market. The market says this credit default swaps cartel and cabal, these conspiratorial, narrow drug markets say France has a 12% chance of default. The United States has a 4% chance of default. Société Générale, says the CNBC commentator based on credit default swaps, Société Générale has a 25% chance of default. Bank of America, a 23% chance of default. Those are the default risks as measured by these highly toxic, illegal gambling or illegal insurance credit default swaps. Remember, these are not a barometer. They're a weapon. This is not saying this is what the market believes. This is the reflection of a criminal intent by cabals of speculators ganging up to attack these stocks and these countries. Now, some of these underlying entities may indeed be bankrupt. You could easily argue that Lehman Brothers was bankrupt in 2008, but we did not need a chaotic breakdown crisis to bring that fact forward. Right? This question of discovering the truth through the market, that's not the way truth needs to be discovered. The social cost, as we see, is too great. Ask the 30 million unemployed in this country. Ask the 220,000 people who were foreclosed on in the month of July. The social cost is too high. So what do you do with this? You shut it down. All derivatives, including credit default swaps, which technically speaking did not exist, were strictly banned in the United States from 1936 under the Commodities Exchange Act until that act was repealed by stupid Reagan, the Austrian school nitwit, in 1982. And then the credit default swap only came along in 1994, courtesy of J.P. Morgan Chase, according to most accounts. So didn't we do better when there were no credit default swaps in the world? I would say emphatically yes. So ban them, and that's what's got to happen. France, Italy, Belgium, Spain, you've taken a first step. Now do the next step. You'll remember that Schäuble, finance minister of Germany last year, had banned naked credit default swaps. If you can't ban all of them, which I recommend, then ban the naked ones. Ban the naked ones, and you will have done something. You've taken a step. And above all, get that Barroso out of Brussels. Get that heir of the Portuguese fascist Salazar tradition out of the European Commission. Put up an incompatibility law. If you're a member of the Bilderberger Group, out of the European Commission you go. There's no place for Euroglarks and Eurocrats who are also Bilderbergers. This is too destructive for European society. So this week, of course, we've had a period of wild swings. We'll get to this in a minute here on World Crisis Radio.